What's going on, guys? Welcome back. More NFL commentary. Before I get into the topic of Peyton Manning possibly retiring, I just want to say the greatness of today's division championship games has been overrode by officiating. And to me, we're at a crisis point now in the NFL. You can't enjoy the outcome of a play without the fear of a late flag or a call, and I don't know what else can be done about this. I mean, we have instant replay to correct the human element, and I think we all agree the human element by design, by nature, is going to have flaws. We have a connection back to NFL headquarters to ensure the referee understands the rules and hopefully make sure the call is accurate to the letter of the law, so to speak. But we continue to deal with calls that are not consistent. Sometimes it's from game to game, like we saw today. Other times it's in the same game. And I don't want to come in here and argue a call back and forth or my opinion of a call because it doesn't matter anymore. No matter what any of us think about the call, the decision is over, the game is over. The fact of the matter is we're sitting here arguing the call rather than looking at the quality of the game that was put on the field. And that's the problem. The game is being damaged because of that, and we need to hold someone accountable, whether that's Dean Blandino or not. The problem is, historically, when we go back to look at these games 20, 30 years down the road, I don't think people are going to say, oh, well, there's the game where they argued calls for 2 or 3 days afterwards. And it should not be that way. We should not have the greatness of the game being compromised the way it is, that before we can even talk about what we've seen, we have to go back and look at things 1,000 different ways at 1,000 different angles to interpret whether what we really saw is what happened. And that's a tragedy. Period. Now, to speak about Peyton Manning, I know a lot is going to be made about what he said after the game. But if you listen to the game, fourth quarter, Jim Nantz actually talked about a pregame meeting, a production meeting with Peyton Manning, which I want to quote Nantz quoting Manning. He actually told us that I'm going to wait and see. I can't really in my heart tell you anything for sure right now. My intention is to play, but things have changed since I last said that. Those are powerful words. And that's almost what he reiterated after the game. But that shows you that in his heart, he has doubt. He actually says that something has changed. And we're all left to question what that is. That to me says something during the course of the last few weeks where we all know Peyton Manning has not played like Peyton Manning. Something, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, something has changed that has triggered him to not want to come back next year. Because if you want to come back, the easy answer is no matter what happens in this game, I'm coming back. We can lose by 41 points, I don't care. So before the game, he'd already openly questioned the fact whether he would come back. And then he did it again after the game. Now, I appreciate that he's not making a decision emotionally. I don't think anybody wants to make a rash decision after a home loss to a team he used to play for. There's a lot of things swirling there. But in my opinion, when you look at Peyton Manning, especially today, the ball seems to wobble. The overthrows to me show that he's lost something and he's trying to overcompensate. And we've gotten to a point now where Peyton Manning isn't measured against other quarterbacks anymore. I mean, if you even think of the national radios I listen to, they don't talk about Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers. You run down the mill, they compare Peyton Manning to Peyton Manning of old. Because I think we all agree that Peyton Manning hurt is still better than 90% of the NFL quarterbacks. To me, if you look at the game, it turned into another playoff Peyton Manning scenario where he almost wants to will the team to win. He wants to beat the Colts himself today, and you cannot do that. If you had Peyton Manning as the quarterback for the Colts and Andrew Luck as the quarterback for the Broncos today, I guarantee you the Colts would have lost that game. Peyton Manning would have never handed the ball off to Herron and Tipton and let these guys run the ball. He would have made judgment calls on forcing passes that would get intercepted, and that's just the way it's always been. And that's Peyton Manning. I mean, listen, when it's great, he's the best ever. But when he's not, a lot of the mistakes are on him. To me, the most hurtful thing today, watching somebody I've looked up to so much that's given me so many great memories as a football fan, was the booing. The booing in the second half, the booing at the end of the game. He doesn't deserve to go out that way. No one really deserves to go out that way, to be booed. in front of their home crowd in a game that at points they were booing him and it was not over. There's also a lot to be said for the fact that as he went off the field, he did not give his gloves or his wristbands away, and that's something I've only seen Peyton do. And actually, as he approached the exit, it looked like he was getting ready to remove his gloves and throw them up into the crowd. And when he didn't, it made me wonder, knowing that Peyton is a fan of the game, knowing that Peyton is a student of the game and likes to have mementos, did he not say to himself, you know what, just in case I want to have my full uniform if this is the last go-round? Love to know what you guys think about that. Appreciate you taking time to check out the video. Listen, I've got some really interesting stuff planned for later on this week, so please stay tuned to the channel. Appreciate all the support as always, and I'll be back in a few days with more content.